Hello, Lego fans, and welcome into a brand new episode of the Brick Hour podcast. I am your host, JJ, otherwise known as Langster Builds. With me, as always, my wonderful co-host, Cam, otherwise known as Camera Studios.
How's it going, everybody?
So this week, we are reviewing our the new film release of
Piece by
Piece by
piece.
Piece, the docu film about Pharrell Williams that we did see last night. At the time of this recording, it is Saturday, so episode 11 literally released not even 24 hours ago. But we like, you know what? Let's just see the movie and then just
We
do
get
the
our
review
fresh
on
thoughts,
Saturday. So like,
get our immediate gut
yeah,
feeling. It's the freshest we're gonna get outside of after the movie, which it was pretty
correct.
late.
So I do apologize if on my screen, like the right side of my, well, left side of my face is like glared because
Yeah, I got
it's
some
9 in
sunlight
the
coming in
morning.
too.
So yeah, like the sun is coming in the second window. So like I have no curtains here. Unfortunately, I didn't think of that. So that's why there's a killer glare.
It shows how real it is.
Correct. That being said, let's go first into what are we building?
Yes.
I really don't have much this week. I have a package coming later today that has some customs, so I'll probably go over that next episode. But I've been doing some more Batcave work. You can see the suit wall down there. I was able to, not suit wall, the gear wall.
Okay.
I did add, I took, so if people remember the Green Lanterns like plane set that came out forever ago,
Mm-hmm.
there was in that was the space armor Batman.
Yes.
So that Batman came with vinyl wings.
Yes. I
The
remember
one
getting
that
that
was,
set after
yep,
Christmas.
the one that was closed in and the one that had the wings extended.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously this that one with the wings closed in is in the suit wall.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. But I still had the other vinyl piece. I figured, okay,
Oh.
if I'm gonna hang jetpacks up on the gear wall, why not take that extended piece and put it down there? So basically, that wall over here has we'll have three different jetpacks. I just have to get another black one now to put on there, but that won't be too hard.
Nice.
That's pretty much all I got for what are we
Yeah, no, I
building.
mean, I remember getting that set actually before January 1st. I remember it was after Christmas, and there was a Lego set I didn't get, the Man Bat helicopter set.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to go get that like December 26th or something. And it was the first time I didn't even, it was before I was aware of like Lego leaks. It was the first time I saw a Green Lantern in it. So I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get this. And it was
That
just
was a
so cool.
huge set when it came out. Everybody
But
wanted it because it had Green Lantern.
speaking of Batman, my what we're building is pretty small this week too. I got the original black suit Batman from the
Oh,
original wave.
what
Got
a
that
good
off
figure
of
that is. Got a couple
Whatnot.
of those lying around.
But my what we're building is gonna be a little different. It's gonna be what I'm going to be building. So I haven't built this yet, but I got the idea and I kind of want to get it done. So let me just grab
Okay.
it. Come here. Hey, buddy.
Oh my God, is that your cat or is your rabbit?
It's my bunny. This is Stan.
Look at this
I want to
dude.
build him.
Oh my God, dude, you could get one of the cat sets and like make it into him.
Oh God, I can't. See, I would do that, but I don't want to think that he was built from a cat.
You don't have to just think the parts were used to
Oh, the
build him.
parts.
That's what you
You
could
know what?
do.
That would be a lot of good way to get a lot of parts. You can barely
Yes.
see him. Oh, here we go. Hey, buddy. So yeah, I want to build my bunny Stan. Well, not my bunny, my family rabbit Stan into a Lego.
That would be awesome.
So that will be my project among my many other projects. So I'm just gonna set him down over here so he can get back to his cage by Stan. So yeah, that is kind of what I'm building, but what I'm going to be building.
That's really cool. When you said there was a surprise today, I'm like, what do you have cooking, Cam? And I'm like, wait, the bunny's on. Let's go.
That is Stan Lee, based on both
Oh
Stan Lee
my
from
God.
comics, but also Stanley Cup because I'm a big hockey fan
Oh
and we're
yeah,
a big
obviously we
hockey
both
family.
are.
So it was gonna be Stanley, but we're like we want to call him Stan. Let's just call him Stan Lee.
Hmm.
So
It
yeah,
works
he
perfectly.
will be a Lego set in a few weeks. So I didn't even think about getting the cat to use as a piece because
That's
like
a
that's
perfect way to do it.
it's the black and white, which is perfect because like he's got like a little suit on, what the
Hmm.
Stan does.
Yeah.
What color eyes does the cat have? Because he has like brown eyes.
It's got different colors in it. It's got
Perfect.
multiple different
Ooh,
colors, I'm pretty sure.
wow. I never thought I was gonna buy the cat set, but now I'm probably going to.
You're gonna have to. It's a great way to get
It's
the
got the
parts for
pieces
it.
for it, and like I don't even need
Yep.
to read the instruction. It'll be a parts pack.
Just use it for parts. Yeah.
You gave me the
Exactly.
best idea. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. I thought you just thought of that on your own to do that.
No, like I was originally gonna use the 3-in-1 bunny set that turns into like the seal or the cockatoo,
Oh yeah. And just
but
the instructions from
the
that.
bunny is so skinny. It's not even
Oh
funny. Like
no.
it's literally like a brick wide, like a two
Hmm.
by two brick wide, and like that. You saw him. I mean, he's
Yeah.
not chunky, but like he's
He's
realistic.
a
That bunny's not
he's a
realistic.
bigger animal.
Right. Well, he that's actually a mini Rex. That's a small breed.
Oh wow, okay.
He's like the mini version, but. I even think about using the cat tip, but like he's obviously got like a roundish butt,
Hmm.
and I'm wanting to figure out a way to do the ears without like I want. Obviously, I'm probably gonna use mixel joints probably,
Hmm.
but I gotta figure out a way to like make it blend into the black and because like mixel joints are only in that dark medium gray, right?
Yes. They're
Okay,
only in that. But those are color locked, I think, for specific purposes. That's the thing.
probably like the structure or something.
Yeah, most likely.
Hmm.
News this week, not really anything. We thought there was going to be something, and then
I got
the
so
House of
excited.
Mouse got very mad and went after a lot of things. So
I can
just
understand it, and not at the same time. Like it
yeah.
feels like I will give Lego credit in the sense that they've been I keep on saying they're doing better because it goes against what we want as Lego fans, but
Hmm.
they've been doing a decent job of not letting anything leak. Because, like, you and me can probably agree, we like seeing leaks so we can kind of plan ahead for what we're buying.
Correct.
But personally, yes, seeing the low quality, horrible image versus an HD picture,
Yeah.
like, yeah, we get to know what's there, but I want to know what's actually in there.
Hmm.
So like it's a catch 22. Like you can either know early and it looks horrible, or you can know like right before it releases and you get amazing pictures.
Hmm.
Like if Lego could figure out because like I'm getting off on a tangent here, but with leaks, I always liked because it kind of helped me plan my purchases and like if I knew a set was coming, I would like buy here, buy here, buy here, and like that would
Yep.
benefit Lego because I'm gonna be buying everything that's gonna build up the hype.
Correct.
If Lego would at least release the name of sets, maybe, or something without any images, just to kind of get people hooked, I feel like that would benefit them because I'm more
It
likely to
could
buy a
work.
set if I know it's coming, as opposed to here's a $300 set 2 weeks before it comes out.
Yeah, but I feel like the other problem is if you put pictures of it out there too soon, you give like the knockoff companies a chance to take it
I'm
and
not
make
saying
knockoff
pictures, I'm
products
saying the
of it.
name. Like if you,
No, I
if
know, but
Lego itself,
even that, you give them an opportunity to start whipping something up quickly that's much less quality.
speaking of which, I was looking at Instagram yesterday just because I saw our post for the our newest episode, and I
Mhm.
saw an Amazon link of the Cullen House.
Oh, good
Not by
Lord.
Lego, by someone else. The Twilight House.
Yeah,
I saw it and I'm
that's
like,
kind of what
that's
I'm
not
mean.
Lego.
Um, so if people aren't aware of what we're talking about, three of the upcoming 2025 Marvel sets did get leaked. Well, sorry, two upcoming 2025 Marvel sets got leaked. One of them is coming out in November.
So
Um,
happy.
there was pictures everywhere, and then within a few hours they were gone, and there was copyright notices distributed to a lot of things, and there was also, seemingly from what we could understand, officials or whatever from Disney slash Lego, who knows, going into Discord servers and removing pictures. So
That's
they
the
went
first
to a,
I've heard of it.
yeah, I never seen that before. So we're saying this more as a warning. If you're a Lego content creator, maybe don't put pictures of those sets right now
Hmm.
because there's a good chance that you're going to get copyright striked, or you might, or if you've had enough of them already, that you might just lose your account. So that's why for us, we don't post pictures or show anything before there is officially revealed images on Lego's website. Because the minute they're on there, it's fair game. We can talk what we want about it. So that's why we're not showing anything.
We'll
We
loosely
know
talk
what's
about
coming.
it.
We're not
We
talking
won't
about it.
we won't confirm anything that we've seen. We'll loosely talk about it, but like leaks are leaks. They're cool to see, but they're called leaks for a reason. Like they're not supposed to be getting out.
Correct. Um, yes. So we can kind of gauge that from there.
Hmm.
Um, But besides that, there was really no other news this week. There were some poly bags revealed last night that are just kind of whatever.
They poly
Um,
bags or poly boxes? Because like the way that they kind of came
I
off.
think they're just poly. I think they're poly bags because they're just kind of like weird. I think they were just cropped differently.
Okay. I gotta say, I'm really excited about the dandelion one. It's something
That one
small and
looks
simple, but
nice.
it looks like really cool.
Is it 18 plus?
Mm,
I didn't see that or not. I know the Animal Crossing one will be a big deal because it's a cheaper way to get Julians. People will probably go nuts over that.
I also like the pink sweatshirt on it because, like, honestly, I might
Yes.
buy a poly bag just to get that for my minifig.
Honestly,
Um,
the one I liked the most, and I'm being serious here, was the Dreams video game controller.
it did look cool.
That one
I'm
looks
not.
really cool.
We know me and dreams
You
don't
hate
get along.
Dreams,
I
but
don't hate. I don't hate dreams. I have a dream set. It's just the buyer's guide. The dandelion is 9 plus.
interesting.
I mean, it's small. I think it's cool how it's
Yeah,
got like the dandelion when you can like at the final stage of it, kind of like the middle stage, and it's got the
yeah,
what's
that's
that?
fair.
What's the plant that most cowboys like have like that they're chewing? Like they
Oh
just like have it
God,
hang off. You know what I mean?
like a wheat bar or something like that. I
Something
forget
like
what
that.
it's
I think
called.
that's in there too. So, but no, the
Okay.
poly bags look cool. I always liked poly bags just because it's like a cool way to get like a minifig. Like one of my
Hmm.
favorite ones was the Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good one. I'm surprised Lego didn't go. I'm sur This is kind of getting more into the CMF polybag thing. I'm surprised they didn't turn the poly bags into poly boxes first and then went towards the CMF blind bags. Because like if they're trying to go for the green
That's a
poly
good point.
bag, everybody throws that bag out anyways, except me because I file it. But if they did poly
Yeah, that's a
boxes,
good point.
that's less plastic. Then like
There's
they're
a
doing paper bags within boxes that so if you do a box,
Yeah,
unless that makes it more easy to steal.
I do wonder if at some point they'll switch to that because that could be very interesting if they do that.
It'd be a good way to put them on shelves. It's a bunch of small boxes, just stack
Yeah.
them up instead of like a bin of bags.
Hmm.
Plus,
Um,
for me, the hearing the noise of all the bags like crumbling, I don't know, it makes me feel good.
it is mildly satisfying, isn't it?
Mhm.
It is kind of satisfying hearing the
It hits you
bag sound.
like, ooh.
It really does. So getting into the real meat of this week's episode, is Piece by Piece, the docuseries, I keep saying docuseries, biopic movie about Pharrell Williams that came out. It did release last night at the time of this recording. By the time this video is out, it'll have been out for a week. Um, so we're gonna do first half, we're gonna talk about non-spoilers, and then second half of the review is gonna be all spoilers.
I feel like
So
that's
you
a
can,
good method we have going forward with like any reviews that we have, like we
yeah,
did
just expect
for
that.
Rebuild the Galaxy.
Um,
Should be
let's
fun.
just generalize stuff from movie reviews anyway. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So Cam, what did you think?
So going into this, I'll admit I did not know a lot about Pharrell Williams.
As did
I
I.
first learned about him during the first Despicable Me movie, actually. Just because like he did the soundtrack for the first and second movie. I think he did other ones, I'm not sure, but I didn't
He
really
did the
know
fourth one, I know that.
I didn't know a whole lot about him. And then so it was cool to kind of learn more about him. I will admit like some of the music that he's worked on I don't listen to, so some of it was kind of cool to learn about. Some of it was like I don't know you, so I'm not going to be as interested. But it was I liked seeing someone on his platform
Hmm.
do something different with the usual biopic. Like not many, I can't think of anybody that would make a Lego biopic. And I feel like it was a good way to kind of bring a bunch of people together just because like in the theater we went to last night, we had adults, we had kids, young adults, like we had like a good mixture.
And also, people were singing along to the songs in the movie
Hmm.
too. Like there was some prominently featured
Yes.
people knew, and they're like, "Oh, okay." You and
It
I were at
just,
one point.
yeah, I found it pretty interesting that not many kids are going to want to watch a biopic. But
Hmm.
the fact that it was Lego, I feel like drew their attention. So I think it was a really good movie. It was cool to learn more about Pharrell, but I just love the idea of doing it in Lego because it kind of gives you more options.
Hmm.
And then no, it was a really good movie. I'm not one to give ratings. I liked it. I'd see it again, but like I'm not gonna like watch it over and over. But that's not what a biopic is for. But
Yeah.
no, solid movie.
I thought it was a solid movie also. I think my opinion has lessened a bit
Okay.
as I think more about what I saw. Me
Hmm.
being I'm a pretty big movie guy, so like when I walked out, I was like, that was really fun. And it was. It was a
It
very
was.
fun movie. It was a
The
very fun
music was
movie.
good.
Yes. This isn't even really a spoiler, but Lego now has their own intro, like
I
movie
love
studio
that.
intro, like Hasbro does. And it was really cool
I
seeing like you and
love
I were like,
that.
oh, that's cool.
Wait,
Like that
what?
was really
Hasbro
fun.
has one? I didn't realize Hasbro
Hasbro
had
has
one.
one. Yep, Hasbro's got their own. I
Hmm.
think Mattel does also because they had one in front of Barbie.
I didn't see
Um,
Barbie.
you got to watch that movie. It was incredible.
I heard
Um,
otherwise.
oh no, it was good.
Hmm.
So when I watched this, I thought there were some things. I love the fact that so Pharrell is a very creative person.
Yes.
And I think having his biopic be done using Lego as the media was very smart
Hmm.
because they go hand in hand. Obviously, Lego is a very creative toy, and he's a very creative person. Bam, there we go. And I like the fact that they don't waste any time right off the bat of him explaining right in the beginning of the
Right.
movie, this is why we did it in this way. Perfect. It I think that explanation needed to be there.
Oh yeah.
Um, of just because I think some people were like, why is the Pharrell biopic
And Lego, because like
Lego-fied? Like that's odd. Now,
he's never
me
been
also
tied to it.
yeah, as someone who is not a Pharrell diehard fan, like I
Hmm.
didn't learn about Pharrell until Happy came out. That's just, and that's just like I'm like I like music, I like following along with music, but I don't know the ins and outs of like recording labels and what I don't know
Hmm.
anything like that. So I didn't even know until learning about this movie that he had been a music producer for
Yeah.
years and all these other artists. I didn't know that.
I didn't realize he was around
Um,
as long as he was.
that then there was that too. I thought he was a younger guy. I didn't know, I mean I think he's in his 40s, maybe pushing 50 now, but
We
like
joked about that as we're walking to the theater. Like, I don't know much about him. I just know apparently he's a vampire because he does not age.
yeah, there was that. But so the thing about the movie that I liked was learning about his relationships with all the different artists. That was
Yeah.
really cool to see. I'm not gonna. I mean, obviously, the one thing that was misleading a little bit about the marketing was people were like, "Oh, there's a bunch of different, musical artists that aren't in the trailer." There's like three or four that
Mm.
you see that aren't in the trailer, and I'm like, okay, and they all kind of get shown off very little. So like, okay, like
Yeah.
what you see in the trailer is primarily who you're going to focus on, which is cool because those people are still awesome. Like the
Hmm.
Snoop bit was awesome. The Snoop bit was so funny. I loved his inclusion in this.
We'll get more into
Um,
that in the
yeah,
spoiler part.
Gwen Stefani was awesome to see.
Yeah.
Um,
She was in it a lot more than I was expecting.
yes, I feel like the beginning of the movie was great.
Hmm.
I think the middle dragged, and I don't feel like it really had a solid end.
Yeah.
It kind of just went and then whack, just
I
chop
feel
it right off.
like it was similar to, I was gonna say like a race because like you kind of, you right out of the gate, you run out of the blocks and like you're
Hmm.
running really fast to start and then it kind of like eases into like a cross country sort of thing.
Hmm.
Like it started out great, seeing his childhood and everything, like the build up to how he got to his career. Like it hit to a point, and it's not like it stopped. Like it went down, but like there really did feel like a top moment, like a
Hmm.
climactic moment, which I
And
think is a point of like a biopic. There's not going to be.
well, it depends. Because I think certain biopics, like perfect example of this, I'm going to reference this probably a few times throughout this because it's kind of like the gold standard right now for biopics was
Okay.
the ESPN, or might have been ESPN, I don't remember what it was, but the um the docuseries that just came out about the Chicago Bulls. I don't know if you
I don't
watched
think I
that at
saw
all.
that.
It was like a six-part series.
Not a big
I'm
basketball guy.
totally forgetting what the name of it is now, and I hate that because it was phenomenal. It was the best docuseries I've ever seen. That felt was a contained story.
Mm-hmm.
You know where the beginning is, you know where the end of this Bulls dynasty is. And it jumps back and forth the whole time. This
Mm-hmm.
doesn't do that. I feel like the problem with doing a biopic about Pharrell is he's still very much still
He's
doing
not
things.
done.
He's not done. So this felt like this is what it felt like the story of what Pharrell has done so
Yeah.
far. And then it's like, and we're gonna keep going, but there's no end to this yet. So I'm like, okay, the movie doesn't very much feel like I don't feel like it has a very solid end point
Right,
because
which
it's
I
kind of
think
just like,
thinking about it kind of
yeah,
makes
he's gonna
sense
keep
because he's
going.
not ended. He's not done. He's not
Yeah.
retiring.
I don't even think he had to be done
There
with making
wasn't
music. I
really,
think he
there was
just
an amazing start and then like it just continued. Like there was never like a high point, low point. It
Yeah.
just kind of like it started and it just kind of stayed,
hmm
if that makes
That's kind
sense.
you hit a certain point and you're like, and now we're just doing the like it just felt like Creature of the Week where you're just like throwing out an artist out there, giving them a segment and moving on to the next artist.
Hmm.
I'm like, it's cool. It's fun because you get to see guys like Snoop and Gwen Stefani and Jay-Z and all those guys are popping up in Lego form, which is fun.
Hmm. Get to the
And
point.
they do get to the point eventually, and there
Hmm.
is that bit where like you do hit that bit in his career where he kind of falls off a bit, but then it just goes right back up to the top again and he just keeps on going. And I'm like,
Right.
okay, like we hit those points. I just felt like it didn't have a solid ending. That was
No,
really
that makes
my
sense.
only gripe. That was my big gripe was there was no real solid ending.
I
The
mean,
other
it had
thing
the
is,
ending song, but that's about it, which was a
yeah,
great
but that was
song.
yeah, but that was a great song. Now the other thing that I kind of was like, a little off about was obviously as someone who doesn't know Pharrell's background going into this at all. The stuff with the Neptunes, really cool learning about
Yeah.
that. Really cool learning about that. But as someone who has no idea what anybody else in the movie looks like, besides like I know what Pharrell and Jay-Z look like
Right.
in real life. I don't know who the other two people that were in this band with him. I never heard of them before.
Mm-mm.
So I'm seeing them in Lego form and like, oh yeah, here's
Yeah.
Chad. And I'm like, who's Chad? I like that was the one thing the medium doesn't really lend itself to is if you don't know everybody in Pharrell's team or like group throughout his life, you're not gonna be you don't
Hmm.
piece together who's who until they stamp their name on the screen and go, this is who this is. And you're like, oh,
Right.
okay. There's some art, a lot of the artists, you know it's them pretty quickly because the minifigures are styled. You're like, oh, that's Gwen
Right.
Stefani. Oh, that's Justin Timberlake. Like you figure that
Oh,
out.
that's Snoop Dogg.
But that's yeah, Snoop was easy to pull off. But there were
Why?
some other ones where I'm like, who is that? Oh, never mind. Who is oh, okay. Like the medium, while really fun for
Hmm.
executing the biopic, loved it. Maybe didn't lend itself perfectly for those who don't know all these people in the music industry or people who work closely with Pharrell. That's kind of
Hmm.
the bet you get into.
All right.
I
To
did.
like add on to your point, like I said at the beginning, I didn't know a lot about Pharrell's career. I didn't know much about Pharrell until Despicable Me. So
Mhm,
like I didn't know who pretty much like outside of Gwen Stefani, Snoop Dogg, Justin Timberlake, Jay-Z,
mhm.
outside of that, I didn't really know anybody. So like I didn't know anybody in the first part of the movie pretty much outside of like a quick Gwen Stefani. I'm wondering if it could have worked if they had like a live action bit, like going back and forth between like the Lego live action version, just so we could like see them being interviewed, or like when they're being interviewed in live action, then all of a sudden it changes to the Lego version.
That would have been phenomenal.
I feel like that
I
could have helped a
I
lot because like
almost feel
there's
like
definitely
I almost
some.
feel like the movie should have started with Pharrell's interview, like that he's in throughout the whole time.
Mhm.
Him as live action, but then when he says we should do it in Lego pieces, it should have converted from there.
Yes,
That's what they should have done.
they should have done it, and like it's definitely like what drew me to the movie was the Lego aspect of it, obviously,
Same here, obviously from
but.
yeah.
It was cool learning about Pharrell itself, but outside of Pharrell, like a few of the other bigger names, I wouldn't have been able to like if you show me just the minifigure without the names, I wouldn't have known who they were.
I also like the fact going so before I get onto this next point actually. No, actually I'll save this point for after I get this other idea out. From strictly a Lego fan standpoint,
Hmm.
the whole thing is Legofied.
Hmm.
Everything is Lego. There are no the only elements in this, like Lego elements, that are like this doesn't exist, are ones that they explicitly use to help distinguish the artist. So
Yes.
like Pusha T's hairpiece is a totally custom hairpiece. Jay-Z's hairpiece is custom. Daft Punk, their helmets are custom. Snoop's headpiece is a custom. And it's like, okay, that needed to be there.
Okay, just to not to interrupt you, but this bugged me the entire movie. Pharrell, his Legovied head, like it was weird it not being a
It was a
stud.
piece. It was a
Is it a
piece.
piece?
There is a very distinct
I can
line that
see it,
goes
but like
around
there's
his
that piece
head.
doesn't exist in Lego.
Correct. But that's fine though, because they needed to have that there so you could distinguish who's who.
Okay.
Because there was some artists so that I was kind of like, wow, they were able to pull this off without at all
With just regular
needing.
Lego pieces. Like a Gwen Stefani, I think.
Kendrick Lamar's his one look, like they pull that off without needing
Mhm.
to give him a custom element, which was great. By the way, the Kendrick bit of this movie, yes. As someone who became a Kendrick fan in college after literally taking a class where we had to study his body of work, this was really cool to see a Lego-fied Kendrick. And
Mhm.
I really just want that figure from the movie now so bad. So people in the comment section, if you know a customizer who's going to make that version of Kendrick, please let me know because I will buy it. Um, but like Gwen Stefani's hairpiece was not custom. They gave her just generic female
Mhm.
hairpieces, which was great.
Yeah.
Um,
I loved how they used Lego in the movie though. Like when they were doing
all
like
legal building techniques,
explosions or
which
how,
to
like how
me
he
was
was making
great.
music, the use
Yep.
of the Lego piece itself, spot on, perfect.
All of the cars you see are all modeled after the Speed Champions line, which is
All the
really
buildings
cool.
are look like modulars.
Yep.
And like I love seeing like the masonry bricks and like their arms kind of moved similar to like they bent a little bit, which is fine. But for the
That's
most
okay.
part, it looked Lego realistic.
They very much used Lego movie physics, like from those first four films that Warner Brothers did. They
Hmm.
used the physics of that, which is great. It should be like that. And I like that they're doing this. Um, but yeah, I mean, from a Lego fan standpoint,
Hmm.
this is this is great. There's
Yes.
it's all legal building techniques, maybe a couple here and there. Like all of the different like musical tracks that he creates are
Hmm.
like transparent pieces that glow and they're all unique. And I'm like, I
Yes.
love that. It's such a cool idea of showing like,
It's a cool concept.
hey,
Show like his idea.
I've got this idea, and no two musical track is built using the
Hmm.
same parts. Like they're all unique, which is cool. The one thing that people were kind of like coming out of this from what I saw originally was this movie does push boundaries when it comes to what Lego is comfortable with as a brand.
Hmm.
Language wise, there is some light cursing,
Nothing
whatever.
out of the ordinary.
Um, there is a few times where one specific word is said out loud like twice, but then it's bleeped the rest of the time you hear it like randomly, which was kind of like, okay, are you gonna say this or are you bleeping it? Now it was bleeped those times because you can't say that specific word X amount of times in a PG movie or else it becomes
Mhm.
PG-13. So you have to censor it a few times to get around the MPAA. It wasn't there was no F bombs if that's what you're
No,
thinking I'm saying. It was not that.
no.
Um, but
Some of the certain minifigures, how they were dressed, or the outfits that
yeah.
they're wearing, or what they were doing, was a bit. I'm like, we're looking at each other like, did they really just do that in Lego?
Like, whoa. And then they do it does touch on some I'll say political things that related to Pharrell's life going forward, specifically with Kendrick. You can kind of figure that out. Just with his inclusion, you kind of can figure out just the few songs that Kendrick and Pharrell teamed up on. I had no problem with it. It needed to be there.
It
Like
was it was real. It wasn't like they
and
were. It
yes,
didn't feel like an agenda. It didn't feel like
nope.
that they made this movie just for that. They were making a movie, and then that came up.
And honestly, I commend Lego for allowing that because they allowed Pharrell to use their art to use Lego to tell his story as an art form. And I think that's to be commended.
Mhm.
I think it's very much to be commended. This isn't like, and I feel like Lego has been very hesitant regarding allowing artists to use their like partnering with artists to use their product, to use their toys as an art form after the very famous incident from years ago. I don't know if you remember this. There was an artist who basically wanted to partner with Lego and basically was like, "Hey, I want to do this big, I want to make this art piece." And Lego said, "Sure." And they sent him a bunch of parts. And he turned around and basically made a bunch of concentration camps from like World War II
I
era
do
stuff.
remember seeing
Yep.
that.
And that caught a lot of flack because he was like, I partner with them. But Lego never asked him what he was
Hmm.
going to use the parts for. And ever since then, they were a little bit, I don't know. But I give
Hmm.
them credit for letting Pharrell address some more sensitive topics with their product. I think it worked really well. I was shocked seeing some things. I'm like, wow, they really let him. go to an extent with some things,
Hmm.
but it adds to the movie. It
Hmm.
makes you respect the movie, makes you respect Lego as a brand more, I feel like, after watching that and seeing just what they allowed him to do.
Right.
And we'll go more into like like not nitty gritty, but we'll talk about more
More
of like what
specific
these were
details, like the
in the
funny
next
stuff we
segment,
like,
in
the
the
more
spoiler
serious
segment.
stuff.
Yeah. But like
Um,
credit to both of them. Really good in that aspect.
yeah.
They don't at all like there's some things that they have to obviously back off from, but they make jokes about it, so
There's
it's
the one part
funny.
that
You're
I'm
like,
thinking
oh,
of
okay.
specifically, and I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking
I
about.
cannot wait to talk about that part in the spoiler section.
That was hilarious. And everybody in the theater
Yes,
thought it was
it
funny because we all know
worked.
what's happening, but it's like, oh, haha, like
Exactly.
you're
You
just
all know,
joking.
but
It's a
like by
kid's
them
toy.
saying it's this, like, oh, okay, makes sense. Kid movie, you have
Yep,
to do it that way. It worked perfectly.
correct.
Like there was nothing that felt out of place. There was nothing
No,
that felt like, oh, that joke shouldn't have been in there, or like, oh, that joke fell flat. Like it flowed.
correct. Very much so. You've been given the final warning. Spoilers. So let's jump into right what we thought, spoiler wise. The Snoop Dogg bit was hilarious.
My favorite part of not the favorite part, but probably my favorite moment, just because, I mean, everybody knows who Snoop Dogg is. He's
Yes.
notorious for it. He has,
Snoop was notorious for the weed.
yes. And just to see them spraying PG smoke, you knew exactly what that was meant
It's
to
like you knew
infer.
it's supposed to be like
Mhm.
weed smoke,
Yes.
but they're like, nope, can't actually be that. So PG
PG,
spray.
PG
I
smoke.
was the
It was
theater was dying
it was
laughing
the
at that.
funniest part for me of the entire movie.
It was
They knew what they were doing,
hilarious.
but I don't know if it was like their intention for it to be the funniest part. It really was.
I mean, they knew what they were doing with that because obviously you have to have that in there because like you're not gonna just knowingly have Snoop smoking weed
Hmm.
in the middle of a Lego movie. That's not gonna happen.
And
Um,
speaking of Snoop, I liked how they gave him studs on the bottom of the seat to make him taller.
like an actual one by one brick.
Yes, I was expecting him to use like Avatar or like Woody from Toy Story legs or like the new Jack Skellington legs, like just to
Mhm.
make him taller. But it worked putting it with the stud or like the one by one brick,
Mhm.
just because it made him taller. It worked, and I want to add that part when we were talking about the specialized pieces for some of the
Yeah, I
minifigures
didn't
they
think of
did for the
that.
hairpiece, but they didn't have to assume. I mean, they probably had to put printing on it, but a print's a print.
Yeah, there was a print on his feet, which was fine.
And
Um, yes.
speaking of special guest stars, I love seeing the minions in the movie.
Oh my God.
I
What,
was
what
laughing.
that when his wife talks about, yeah, he's working on a song for some movie, and they show like the movie executives are just minions, and I'm like, oh, it's happy. Like they're getting to that part. I wish they had just said that's what it was.
I don't know why they couldn't. I don't know if it's that they don't have like the rights to say that movie because it's from another
Yeah, they do.
studio.
Universal distributed this.
I thought no, it was
Universal,
Paramount, wasn't it?
no, no. Universal distributed this movie and
Huh.
distributed Despicable Me.
Hmm. So I don't know
Um,
why they couldn't just say Despicable Me.
they probably wanted to do it as a joke, so it's okay. He's working
Hmm.
on. They also probably don't want to like
Take
tip
away from
their
the movie.
tip their hand too hard. That's what they're getting
Hmm.
into. I honestly really enjoyed the segment with Happy. That's the first part where I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, like this is the Pharrell that I know is that
This
song
that's all you and me
Happy.
knew. Like the start, like that was
Yeah.
the first introduction to Pharrell.
Hmm. Um, I also I didn't realize that that song had such a heavy toll on him in his
Yeah.
life, and that so many people were like the movie explicitly says they're like, oh, somebody come up to him and tell him that their mom was going through like chemo, and that song helped that guy's mom get through his day, and
Hmm.
someone lost their house in a hurricane or lost their job or just had a bad day at work and listened to
Hmm.
that, and he was like, just the amount of just the number of stories he heard
Right.
of these people having these hardships and that song just helping them through it. He said
Hmm.
that song just became something he never expected it to. So while he does love Happy, he doesn't as much love, it seemed like he doesn't as much love revisiting it.
I think, like from what I took from it, that section, that was Despicable Me was sort of like his comeback in a sense,
Yes,
because he
it
kind of
was.
fell off from being cocky and everything, which I feel like most good celebrities do that.
Hmm.
They realize, oh, I was kind of a jerk here, there, but like I inferred it as he was like on a full on writing block, like he couldn't come up with anything, and then playing with his kid in the bathtub, it just made him feel happy. and that's just it blew up from there. Like
Mhm.
forever now, that song you'll think of Pharrell, like it brings a smile to your face. Like
It
people,
does.
my dad doesn't listen to hip hop or pop much. He listens to country and 80s and 70s rock.
Hmm.
He hears happy, he starts dancing, and it that's how powerful
Just
that
a good
song
song.
is. It is. It gets you moving, and it's just phenomenal.
Hmm. When I also look at other like the Gwen Stefani bit, I was
Yes.
like, that's so good.
Hmm.
Um, I was surprised that they used um oh my God. I'm surprised they used Holla Back Girl twice in two different bits. Because they use the intro of it when he's talking about his childhood, and then they go into it again when
Oh.
he's working with Gwen. I'm like, oh, interesting. I also this must have been an edit they made, a cut to the movie,
Mm.
but you and I noticed it, and you were even like, "Oh wow!" When he started doing, oh my God, Good
Blurred
Girl.
lines.
When he said, "Yeah, Good Girl," when he started doing Blurred Lines, I was like,
Good
"That's like an."
girl.
Sorry, I forget the name of it. When he starts doing Blurred Lines,
Oh,
and I'm like, "This is a song he did with Adam Levine," but Adam Levine is nowhere to be found in
not
this.
Adam Levine.
It was Adam Levine, wasn't it?
No, it was Robin
Oh,
Thicke
Robin. Yes,
and
Robin Thicke.
T.I.
That's right. That's right. It was Robin Thicke. Never mind.
Just a controversy behind that song.
Yeah. And so I was surprised that it was in there. And I was also surprised that out of all the musicians that are featured in this,
Yeah,
that why do you not have Robin Thicke in that part? I mean, obviously there's probably a reason why, and I think we all know what it
that's probably
is,
why,
but
because that song brought so much controversy.
yeah. Well, especially after the fact when it was determined that that song was like, well, there was some legal thing with it where it was like, yeah, this song is not an original
So
work
there
or
was the
something
two
weird
different
like
music
that.
videos. I don't want to
Yeah.
go too much deeper into that. There was the PG video or PG-13 video and the not PG-13
The
video.
not PG-13 video.
But then the way the song itself, it it's not politically correct anymore. It was very not illegal per se, but like what it
It
infers,
it
it's
delved
not
into a
good.
lot it delved into a lot of topics that they probably don't want to touch. So when they started playing that, I was like, well, that's a choice.
Yeah, that was
Um,
surprising to me. But outside of that, the Kendrick Lamar section it made sense with the flow of the movie, but I feel like adding blurred lines. I mean, obviously that's why they didn't have Robin Thicke. That's why they didn't have T.I.
mhm,
So like it made sense, but like having the song, I'm surprised. But it's not like they showed the making of it or at all or anything. So it was just a song that he did. So it makes sense why they had it.
mhm.
But
Kendrick's bit is the bit that I was the most surprised by.
mm,
I knew going into this because obviously, got having studied Kendrick in college. Um, I figured, okay, we know Kendrick's in this. They're definitely going to talk about, like, they're definitely going to go into All Right and that song and Kendrick making it. And that song has a lot of, we'll say, political undertones to it,
mhm,
in terms of kind of why Kendrick made it. Now, that song is very much like Happy. Kendrick Lamar has gone on record multiple times saying that that song turned into something that he never originally, in theory, thought it was
mm,
going to. Um, Phenomenal song, by the way. Absolutely incredible. I loved the fact that the movie actually went through and like recreated shots from the music video in Lego form. What I was honestly really surprised by was the fact that they recreate a protest.
yeah, I did not see that coming.
I didn't see that coming. I was very surprised that was in there. But again, I commend Lego for adding that and commend Universal for having that in there. And for, sorry, I commend Universal for being like, let's go here. We're comfortable doing this because obviously you're going to spark a debate regardless,
Mhm.
um, which we're not going to do. We're just talking about the movie.
Nope.
Um, so I give Universal credit for not being afraid to put that in there. And I also give Lego credit for being like, okay, if this is part of Pharrell's story, we're fine with it. It doesn't push boundaries. It just says,
I
hey, this
think
happened.
the reason that they were okay with it being in there,
Hmm.
it wasn't necessarily picking like it wasn't picking a side. It wasn't saying, "Oh, we're supporting this or we're supporting that." It just showed what happened.
Correct.
It's a
Yes.
biopic, so like it's
Yes.
showing facts of what happened.
Yep.
Those
You're just showing it's just
protests
part of
happened,
Pharrell's story.
right?
Yeah.
Those protests happened. It's not like though this didn't like we support this reason versus that reason. Like it didn't get into the nitty-gritty of it. It just showed the facts of what happened, which is I think why they were able
And
to
it
kind of
and
add it.
it set up his partnership with Kendrick really
Mhm.
well. Really well. Um the Gwen Stefani stuff was fun because obviously who doesn't know Gwen Stefani's
Right.
music? She's just a popular
I
artist.
had no idea how involved Pharrell Williams has been in the music industry. Like
Not, I mean,
honestly,
again, I'm
I
not a
thought
big
he was
music guy, so I
just
don't know,
a
but
singer. I didn't realize he was a producer on so
hmm
many different songs.
I didn't
And
either.
props to him for being around as long as he has been and like going into different musics and like being uncomfortably comfortable enough to try different genres.
I think it was really cool also that he and Pusha T have been friends since they were kids. Like that was
I didn't
I'm like, oh,
realize
that's fun. Like
that's
I didn't
pretty
know
cool
that.
that so many of them have been friends for that long from
Yeah, and
like
that he's
elementary school.
and also like the amount of genres he did. Obviously, he started off hip hop,
Hmm.
but then he got into pop music with Gwen Stefani, and then he worked with her a bunch, and then he was jumping around. But I think the problem, and I think that what the movie does shows really well is the thing he got into was instead of just being true to himself and true to his style,
Right.
he was trying to bring this group and this group and this
Hmm.
group, and we're gonna make music for this section of people. And it was like, no, like just be you, man. Like that's
Right.
what people want. People want Pharrell. We don't want corporate Pharrell. We just want you being
Be
Pharrell.
you without being cocky.
Yeah, exactly. I loved that. I thought it was great.
Right.
Um, there was a bunch of other stuff that I enjoyed as well. Um, I liked how they recreated a lot of the music videos.
Hmm.
Like obviously we talked about All Right. Um, Pop It Like It's Hot was funny seeing like that. Oh my God, I'm forgetting the Jay-Z song that he did. The one where the music video was like pushing it and you're like, whoa, all right, I guess the
Oh,
minifigs
yeah.
are doing this now.
Yeah, I that was surprised with like seeing you don't see bikinis that much in Lego,
No.
besides Princess Leia, and just like the way they were moving, it was kind of surprising.
It
So
was
I
kind of like,
mean,
all right.
I'm looking at you during the like they're showing this, huh? All right,
Like, all right, I
PG
guess
movie, let's go.
we've gone there now. But I feel like I feel like in terms of being genuine to his work and to the work of the other artists, you really can't change that. You kind of have
Right.
to leave it. You you can not show certain things, but but if you're gonna go there and recreate music videos, you can't like I guess you could have, but
You can only do PG smoke for so long.
the PG's that's still the best
It
bad in
is.
the movie.
I feel like that was like one of the few things where you can hide it without hiding it.
Hmm.
Whereas like with what he did with Kendrick Lamar or Jay-Z, you can't really hide the facts of it. Which
No,
I
it's
think because
just
like
there.
the PG Smoke, that wasn't a fact to Snoop Dogg. It was just he was meeting with Smook and it was like a little nods like, yeah, Snoop does this. Like everybody knows what we're talking about, but we can't
Mhm.
directly say it because then it'll have to be PG-13.
The other thing with Snoop that was funny was like I think people were like, "Oh man, Snoop's in this," and I'm like, Snoop's more of a personality now than he is really a musical artist. Like people know he
Right.
was a rapper, but like
Hmm.
Snoop to me is really more of a personality now,
Oh
like
my
than he
God,
is a
yes.
musician. He's kind of transcended that into a whole nother level.
You see Snoop and like you're you're happy. Like you laugh when you
You're like,
see
"Yeah,
him.
Snoop's here."
Like with him on the Olympics. Funny.
Oh my God, it was so funny.
I thought he was funnier when he was with Kevin Hart.
Yeah, he's hilarious with
Them
Kevin
two
Hart.
together was funny. And then my favorite bit was they were talking about Snoop stayed up all night. He was tired, and Kevin's confused why. I think he was partying. And says, "No, I was doing my Olympic research binder." What binder? You didn't get one? No, I didn't get no binder. Where's the binder? Where's the binder? It's like, and Snoop was messing with him.
Yes, that
He
was
did get
so
a
funny.
binder. That was funny, but like,
Snoop is funny now, so I'm like him being in this makes total sense.
exactly.
I
He
also
added
wonder,
something of himself. Like, it's not even his music he's adding anymore. Like, yeah, they had his music in there, but like, you see Snoop, you just think, cool guy, very mellow. You
Mhm.
can get a good laugh with him. And
Yeah.
that's what you did.
I also am curious to see. Oh, so I say the one musical group's inclusion that I was kind of disappointed with was Daft Punk
Mm,
because they're in it just as like a snapshot of stuff that Pharrell's done, and I'm like, man, like it would have been nice to hear from them, but at the same time, they're very like secretive.
Oh yeah.
So, like I totally get it. And they're also no longer a partnership anymore. Like Daft Punk split up a couple years ago. So
Mm.
like, yeah, it's that's there's that. Um,
I wish we could have seen because like obviously all of them did interviews for Pharrell. I wonder if all of them knew it was going to be a Lego movie.
so
Because I
that's
know
the one.
Kendrick, like
Ken
you were telling me last night.
Kendrick did not know he was going to be Lego fied for this until after the fact. He was like, "Really? Okay, cool."
I
Um,
wish you could have like seen their reaction like after they did like their interview for the movie at the very
mhm.
end they're like, "Oh, by the way, are you cool with us turning you into a Lego minifigure?" What? And like seeing their reaction to it would have been hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they had to have signed off on it at some point because like that's a whole thing. And also, I also feel like Lego has to have been like, we're cool recreating this person. Like there was probably some people they were not okay with recreating. That might have been why like Robin Thicke and them were cut. Because I'm assuming they were probably meant to be included.
I don't
And
know.
then
I
Lego
mean,
said, no, no, no,
maybe
we're not going down that road.
we're not gonna go
Um,
deeper into that rabbit hole, but like, I mean, I'm sure if they had Snoop in it like 20 years ago, 25 years ago or so, I don't know when he had his whole run in with the authorities.
who's Snoop? That was a
Yeah.
long time ago.
So like I'm sure there was a point where they're like, oh, we would have been okay with it, or it'd be like, or if it was like Lego's idea, Universal's idea, or like Pharrell's idea to be like PG smoke.
Mhm. That was definitely Universal and Lego being
Hmm.
like, yeah, we can't do that in this, so we got to change it.
Well, they would have had a
Um,
PG-13 rating at that point.
it would have been PG-13 for sure. What was the other really funny thing? No, funny thing. Speaking of Lego pieces, the fact that his agent or like manager, his minifigure had a minifigure baseball hat that had a Yankees logo on it. Yeah, I'm gonna need
I
that real
heard
quick.
you. I'm like, he's gonna want
I'm gonna
that.
need that real quick, Lego. You better start making some MLB stuff and some NFL stuff and some NHL stuff, and then
Thank you.
you will be getting all
Well,
of our money. Yeah,
they
I
used to
know.
have NHL, but like it was like stickers.
But that brings another question. I'm surprised they were even allowed to use the Yankees logo
That's a good point.
because the MLB, NFL, and NHL all have a partnership with that weird off-brand building block company,
Oh, Uxlow or something. I know exactly.
whatever
I
that
have
is.
some because I got some Bruin stuff that I really like.
I have some Raiders stuff, and I literally threw it in the garbage.
What?
Yeah, it was that
Why?
bad. I could not assemble the football helmet because the parts were so tiny and the instructions were
Oh,
so confusing. I couldn't get together, so they're all in the garbage. I threw them all out because they were
you should
just
have given it to me.
I hated them. You want
Because
the
like I'm
Raiders
actually
ones?
considering taking the Bruins one and getting Lego pieces to make the bigger Bruins one. Because like
You
it is
should
nano
just do
bricks. It's
that.
annoying to build the nano bricks. Do I have any here? No, I don't.
But
But
I
no,
was
like
sup-
I was surprised with the Yankees, and I see it, I'm like, as you're
I
wearing
didn't
a Yankees
I
hat.
didn't think of that till last night because I was like, oh, like I got home and I got home and I thought to myself, I'm talking to people of the movie and I'm like, wait a minute, how were they even allowed to use the Yankees logo on the hat? Because the MLB had to have signed off on that probably. Mostly now usually like you can wear a hat or whatever in a movie, who cares?
Right.
But in this specific case, it's a toy version of someone of wearing a Yankees hat. So I'm kind of like, okay,
I'm wondering if it's because it wasn't like a focal point to the movie. That's why
maybe
they were able to get
it
away
must
with
have
it.
been,
Or I
but
don't know if
like,
they got away with it or not, but
first of all, let's put it this way: if professional sports teams could stop working with nanoblocks and just make some sort of partnership with those companies, I would love that.
I guess it is the nanoblocks. Well, I guess it boils down to how much it would Lego would have to pay to get the license versus if this off
Dude,
brand is like MLB's, NHL's, like if it's their brand, you know,
dude, give me a CMF line for each league that has 32 characters.
that'll never happen and you know it.
I would love it.
I would love it too. Give me Bobby Orr, give me Patrice Bergeron, give me Gordie Howe,
I mean,
Gretzky.
I'm even thinking more just like recent players like Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge. Like you could do so many guys baseball wise, you can do so many dudes.
Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah,
besides the
moving on.
point. Um, that was the thing I didn't think of till now where I'm like, oh, I wonder if that
Mhm.
caused any issues licensing wise with that other company. Um, Pharrell's fashion is also brought up multiple times.
Yes.
And that led to a lot of Easter eggs in the
Mhm.
movie, like Lego Easter eggs. Like at one point, I was like, yo, look, there's an Mtron t-shirt sitting in his
Yes.
clothes rack. I'm like, that's funny. I like they had that in there. I like that they were able to recreate a lot of his fashion with like known parts.
His giant
I
head
Well,
hat, his giant hat.
his giant hat was different, but like his baseball hats were just
Mhm.
regular minifig hats.
I
It didn't matter.
liked Missy T when she had
Oh, Missy
the
Elliott, yeah, 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 her
Missy El
chain.
wow, Missy T. Missy Elliott had um the Olympic medal, but
Yep,
like it was like designed next to how saw the chains printed on it. It'll never
that
be
was
made in
cool.
Lego, but
I liked that. That was cool. They could probably try to find a way to do that one day.
it'd be hard to print that piece.
The one thing that I think is the most surprising is the spaceship from the piece by piece set is nowhere to be found in that movie.
I was looking for it.
Nowhere.
I thought it was it near the beginning that they had that rocket ship? I thought it was maybe
No, it
that
was
like
the Blue Angels.
no, it was after. This is a point where there's like a transparent rocket ship. I forget what part of the movie.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't that
I
part
thought
either.
that was going to be. I'm like, what's the point of the set then?
Yeah, I kind of wish the set would have been something different.
Like a music
Um,
studio or something.
yeah.
But then they could have
Um,
had to deal with like if they did a music studio and they had like Snoop Dogg or something that's paid Snoop Dogg or whatnot. But like
yeah, I mean, I guess so.
I
I
don't get the point of the set now.
I think yeah, I don't know. I mean, he talks about like going to space and being his mind being out of this world, so I get that.
They should have done an
Um,
underwater set with I'm talking about
they did.
Atlantis
They talked about
and
it. Well, yeah, like the neighborhood group was
Neptunes.
Atlantis and
They should
Neptune and
have
all
done
that
an
stuff. Like,
underwater set. That would have made more sense
well,
at least.
I think they should have done that fish build because
Yes.
that fish build kept
Was
appearing in the movie
Mhm.
multiple times, and it was a cool looking fish build too.
It
Like it
was.
was built very well. I also feel like minifigure selection in that set lacked.
Well, who are they going to do besides Pharrell?
I'll
It
answer
was
that for you.
Pharrell and his wife, right?
It was Pharrell and his wife. They were both in that. Both also the two suits that they're both in don't appear in the movie at all.
Mm-mm.
Um, I feel like what they should have done is they should have done that maybe not. I don't know because the spaceship does look cool. I just feel like they should have gotten rid of those minifigure heads and just put other like art. The main artist that you put in the trailer should have been in the movie, should have been in the set.
Yeah, but then there would have been
Justin,
licensing involved.
yeah, but that would have been a problem. I don't think that would have been an issue. Like Justin Timberlake would have been easy to make. Gwen Stefani would have been easy to make, no problem. They're both you can throw them in there, no problem.
Right.
Um, I feel like Snoop you could put in there. Like I get people have a problem with Snoop, but you know what? He's a personality now. Just do with it. And I love Snoop Dogg, so it's been funny. I mean, Jay-Z might have been an expensive one because he's kind of gotten a whole point. And the other thing is a lot of those characters then need specialized parts. So maybe you just pick the ones that don't need specialized parts
Or
and just
make
go
them all
from
wear the
there.
baseball hats like they have Pharrell wearing. Something. But I agree with you. I wish like when we were looking at the piece by piece set a couple weeks ago,
Mhm.
I was waiting for it to be in the movie. I'm like, okay, let's see how they tie this to the movie. Like, make a lot of sense, like
And
how
they
he's
never
going on
do.
his journey. Nothing. You could have
Even when
showed me
he's
that
in
movie, showed me that
space,
set with nothing, and you'd be like, how are these connected? There's no connection besides the Pharrell and his wife.
mhm.
There's no connection.
Because like even when he's in space floating around at one point in the movie, he's in an astronaut costume. And I'm like, ooh, is this we're gonna see that? And
That's
it's
what I
like,
thought.
and I'm like, wait a minute, the spacesuit he's in is white. It's not even gray like it is in the suit, and then the spaceship is nowhere to be found. So I'm like, yeah, I started questioning like what is the tie-in here? Minus like
Mm.
I would have rather seen something from the movie.
Could you imagine if they put him in like one of the classic space suits?
That would
Like
have
a
been
new
funny.
color? Like if they
I
put
would
him
have
in like the
loved
Earth
that.
blue one that we just got the torso for?
Imagine putting him in a car that doesn't exist yet and blowing people's minds. That would have been
Gold.
funnier.
Give
I
him
would have loved
gold.
watching the classic space fans' brains just melt in their heads.
Although I
You're
think did
welcome,
the classic
Chad.
spaceman make no, it wasn't the classic spaceman. The Everything is Awesome set I think made an appearance.
Yes,
The Rainbow People.
the everyone is awesome set does
Mhm.
show up at one point, which was cool. I like that
Mhm.
inclusion. Um, yeah, I was kind of just like, wow, like that's weird that it's not in this. Like,
There's no tie-in.
especially for well, I mean, the set's a tie into the movie, but like just it's
Right.
not in the movie, which I thought was
It makes
weird.
you wonder if like maybe it was, but then they cut it for whatever reason, or if they
Maybe.
just changed ideas. But like thinking about it, what besides Pharrell like mind traveling in space a lot, does he have any other space connections? Because like if it was at least like a submarine or something for
Not
Atlantis, that would have
really.
made sense. But like,
Not
what ties does
really.
Pharrell have to space?
Not much. I mean, I don't really know.
Hmm.
It's interesting. I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a really good question. Um, oh my God, if I was gonna say,
I hate when that happens.
I do, like I said, I do wish that the minifigure selection in that set was expanded to include
Hmm.
more of the artists. I know some of the faces in that set match up with some people that are in the movie, and which is cool, but like
Yeah.
I would have rather get lose the 50 heads and get like,
How many did it end up having?
a lot. I think there's 50 or 40, maybe even more.
Let me. I'll look in Lego real quick.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I would have loved, like I said, I would have loved to see Kendrick. I would have loved to see Snoop. I would have loved to see Gwen Stefani, Justin Timberlake, Jay-Z. Those would have been
Hmm.
cool figures to get. And I feel like it would have made that set even more collectible because you're getting actual musicians. And again, also, this I feel like is a perfect way for Lego to capitalize on their partnership with Universal and Universal Music Group.
Hmm.
Perfect way because video was not it.
No. Oh my God. Video
Like
was
you have it's
so
like
bad.
the one thing people complain about with video, the big thing was it's in partnership with Universal Music Group. It flopped so hard.
Hmm.
It's like, yeah, you have a partnership with Universal Music Group. Why are you not including actual musicians in any of this that people can recognize and not just Blue Dragon, Pink Pony? Like, no, those are stupid. Like, those should have been totally different.
It really should have been. I'm trying to
You have
see
anything
how
else on the
many
heads? Just count
heads.
them.
I didn't want to have to count it, but all
Well,
right.
count or one row and then count how many columns
Yeah,
there are.
yeah, I'm going, I'm going. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 14, 21, 28, 35,
So almost 40.
49.
It's a lot.
It is.
It's a lot of heads.
Just to be my friends. Which I gotta say, it's kind of looking at it now, it's kind of creepy just seeing a bunch of heads just there. It's like, does Pharrell have a wall of all of his friends' heads
Of
that
just
he
people's
just
faces on the
cut
wall.
off?
That's just
But
I
I
don't like
mean,
that.
cool looking set, like I said, we said before. I'm not gonna buy it, but it is a lot of minifigure heads just to be in a set. To
Hmm.
like expect him to swap him with his wife, but then they have no hairpiece. I mean, it does come with like the helmets. There's
Yeah,
two helmets that come with
they
it.
kind of expect you to put them into that, and I'm like, I don't know about that one,
I mean,
Chief.
looking at the torso, it looks like it's the rocket on the actual torso, which is cool, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, in the end,
I
it's
think
there.
you were spot on by doing like the fish.
I feel like because that fish kept reappearing in the movie
If
a
they had done a set with
ton.
like that fish, Pharrell, and like the
The
Neptune
Neptune
minifigure,
statue.
or
Yeah.
like not even this, you can even do them as a minifigure because they have the mermaid tail
Hmm.
straight with Batman. I actually grabbed one when I was at Disney a year ago when I was doing the what's it called?
The build a minifig thing.
No, where you design your own torso.
Oh yeah.
I did that and I was like, "What? I want to get some different legs," so I just grabbed it, and it's like a mermaid tail, but it looks like a pair of jeans up top.
Ooh, interesting.
So I just grabbed, but like, where was I going with this? Oh, so they easily could have done Neptune because like they've done the hair,
The
they've done
minifigure
the
molds
beard.
exist.
It does. So like they could have done the fish, Neptune, and Pharrell.
Hmm.
Like that would have been a great tie-in, and honestly, a whole lot cheaper of a set.
Probably. I mean, yeah, just for the price of that, I just don't see it selling well.
Mhm.
I don't feel like it's selling well at all either.
No,
Maybe with the movie coming out and people seeing it, they might want to get it. But
I
again, it's
think they'll
not
be less
something
inclined
from
to.
it's not something from the movie, so people might not be
Right.
as inclined to want to get it.
Like perfect example. I didn't see Toy Story 4 right when it came out, so I
Hmm.
really wasn't interested in the sets. Now I saw the movie a few weeks ago. I want to get the sets now because
What do you mean?
it's the tie-in of it. Like I want to get the characters in the movie, like Bunny and Duck, or
Ducky and Bunny are the best things out of that movie.
or
I'm
Forky. Like
sorry.
I want them. But now that's because I saw the
Kaboom.
movie with Pharrell. You can see for like if you didn't know the Lego set existed and then you saw the movie
Hmm.
and then you see the
Different
set, I'm
story.
like, that wasn't the movie. Why would I want it?
Correct. Yeah, I think that that's the one fault of this set is you didn't make it something from the movie that people are going to walk out of the movie and go, "Oh, I know this. I want to buy this now." Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, but yeah, I think that's kind of all of our thoughts here.
Yeah, I mean, it was a solid movie. I love the concept of using Lego. I'm wondering if Pharrell will be the only one to do it, or if anybody else will be interested, or if maybe Lego could make this their own thing where they go to different people like, hey, you want to do a biopic with us?
I don't think we'll get that. I feel like our next step is we might get a music video from someone in Lego form. I
Ooh.
don't think we'll get another biopic at all. I don't see that
If we're
happening.
gonna get a biopic, it would have to be somebody,
Super notable.
yes. Like Pharrell's notable, but like you and me said, we didn't know him until Happy.
Yeah,
So like he
and
was known but
I
not
don't
known.
think I don't think we're gonna get that. I feel like my next question
Piece
is
by
what
Piece
is
2, Snoop Dogg.
yes, give it to me. I'll be there opening night. I'll be at the Thursday midnight showing. But my question is, what is Universal going to do with this partnership with Lego now? Like, the Universal has the movie rights to them now. Like, what are you gonna do? What is your plan here?
I
Are
feel
you
like
like
they can go two routes. They can keep going with the movies. They could try and do like their own Lego themes. Like they could you imagine like a classic Lego space movie somehow? Or well maybe not that. They if they did Power Miners or if they did
I
Clack
don't think they'll ever,
Castle.
I don't think they'll ever do that. Because my thing is,
They could do movies or TV.
people are like they should make Lego Movie 3, and I'm like, they kind of can't because
It's not their rights.
I'm pretty sure Warner Brothers owns the rights to like Emmett and all of them, and you can't use Batman again, so that's a whole problem. Although Warner Brothers might be inclined to partner with Universal
Gee,
if
why?
if it means they make some more money on it.
Because
I could see it.
they're all about the money.
And my other thing is, I mean, Lego Movie 2 really didn't do that well. So do you even really want to
No.
continue that, or do you want to just do? I feel like you got to do something different at this point.
I feel like they did the sequel way too soon. Or was it too soon or too late? Because like I feel like there was like
No, because they did Lego Batman, and that was phenomenal. Then the problem was they did Ninjago, and that was not.
and they were expecting to
Um,
because like it's one of their longest lasting themes.
yeah, I feel like if Universal wants to make a movie and they feel as though they have to go back to the drawing board, do something original. If you
Mhm.
want to go back and dip your feet in with that old with the other movies, I feel like if you're gonna make a sequel, you have to make Lego Batman movie 2.
So I feel like they're
That
gonna
was
be able
in the
to.
works and then it got canceled. So I'm like, I would totally have watched that, and that first one was so good. If
Mhm.
you bring back Lord and Miller for that, it could work.
You're gonna get mad at me.
Well, you don't want to see it, do you?
Oh, I haven't seen it. I want to, I just haven't.
Like
Um,
the best Batman movies literally ever made. It
I
might be the best Batman movie ever made.
okay.
I'm
Um,
dead serious. It really is.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. So with Universal, they have options. I think it's hard because Lego Movie, I feel like was lightning in a bottle where people
Mhm.
weren't expecting it to be as good as it was. And like you can't really do that twice because like if even if Universal did another mo Lego movie, the cameos are gonna be like it's the same thing. Oh, you got some cameos and like the story, what story can you really do? And like they could go Lego theme routes, but like at the same time, only so many people know the themes. They could try and do an original story and try and make new sets, but then what story do you do that's not already been done?
I
It's hard
feel
to be
like
original, but it's hard to be not copying.
I feel like if I'm Universal, if you're going to use the Lego brand, if you're going to use the Lego anything to make a movie, you make a movie about the story of the Christensen family and how they founded the company and how they went
Oh,
from being carpenters to then creating toys and then getting the plastic bricks. And I feel like you go
that
that
would be
route.
interesting.
You don't have it include animated, you have it be live action, and you make this like an Oscar-worthy movie. I think that's the direction you should go. I
Wow.
really do. I
That's
think
a good,
I would
that's a
watch the
great idea.
crap out of that. That would be phenomenal.
Lego wins an Oscar.
Dude,
That would be awesome.
that could be the one that does it.
That
Like
could be.
because Ole Kirk Christensen has a lot of story to him. Godfred Kirk Christensen basically established the Lego brand that we know today.
Hmm.
Well, he set them in the direction of that. And then Kel is still around doing all kinds of stuff. So, like, I would love to see that. Be really
And
cool.
now I feel like is one of the better times to do it just because of the popularity Lego has
Hmm.
built up until this point. Because like before COVID, people liked Lego,
Hmm.
but it wasn't as mainstream and it wasn't as popular to like some adults would be like, oh yeah, I collect Lego, and like you would get some weird looks. Now, as an AFOL, I say I like Lego, like, oh, that's cool. Let me see what you build and this and that. Like
Hmm.
it's not taboo to enjoy Lego after being a kid anymore. So I
Correct.
feel like it'd be the perfect time to do like that movie about the Christensen family.
And let's also say, if they can make a story about, they can make a movie about the story of the guy that created the flaming hot Cheeto. I think you can make a movie about this. So that is a real movie, by the
I
way.
know
It's a
who made
great
it,
story.
Apple,
It's a really great story. I mean, Apple's got 5 movies out. Like,
every week.
it's like every year, it's something
They've
about
spent
Steve
more
Jobs. We need
money.
another Steve Jobs movie. Dear God.
I feel no, I feel like Apple has like they're streaming. They've spent more money. Like they spent like $20 billion, and they have like a quarter of the viewers of Netflix.
They have some good stuff, though.
They have good stuff, but they're spending so much money. I don't know how they're continuing
Yeah,
still.
I don't know.
But I
But
mean, with that being said, I good movie.
yeah,
Definitely
it's
go
a very
see it
good
if you like
movie.
Pharrell. If you like Lego, you'll get some cool animation from it. But
Mhm.
no, solid movie. Would see again.
Before we wrap it up, we want to give a quick plug and quick shout out to our friend Kendall from our lug. That's why I'm wearing my Rock Lug t-shirt today.
Thanks for the heads
Um,
up.
Kendall is a yeah, sorry. Kendall is opening a Lego store in Rochester, New York. It's called Bricks Rock. It will be opening on Saturday the 19th
Of
of
October.
October. I will be there at the opening for sure, along with some other friends. It's going to be really cool that Rochester, we're going to have our own third-party Lego community or third-party Lego store. Be really cool that he's
Hmm.
running that. So if you are watching this, obviously it's coming out Friday, but if you don't have plans Saturday, go to the grand opening. I know he's doing a giveaway for like the first 50 people in the door or something like that. He's doing birthday parties, all kinds of stuff. It's gonna be
Hmm.
really cool. So if you are in the Rochester area or you're just close by Rochester area, definitely stop by. Give Kendall some support. Obviously, we want to support small business, especially with our
Absolutely.
friend as much as we can. So yeah. But with all that being said, thank you for watching. If you've not already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit that notification bell so you are notified when all episodes do go live. Every Friday, 2 o'clock. That's when you can expect to see us here every week. Um, in the description, you'll find links to the Brick Hour Podcast Instagram account where we're going to be posting all kinds of news and set reveals on there, as opposed to like for smaller stuff that we're not going to really talk about on here as much. Also in the link, also in the Instagram is going to be my Instagram account, Langster Builds. You'll be able to find all kinds of stuff about my Batcave project and me finishing that and all this other jazz. Special thanks to Omega and to BrickBoy for all of our intros, outros, and graphics. We will see you guys next week. Have a great week. Happy building.